Look, I'd like to thank you all for attending this evening. This is our 10-year anniversary and we're really proud of where we are today. But there are one or two people that I just want to point out. As I say, thank you to all of you. But if the four of you that just come back from New York, if you could stand up, please. Come on, don't be shy. If we could have a round of applause for those four, please.
Get close to your mouth.
Right.
Get close to your mouth.
Thank you. The evening's going to start with one or two people talking. I have actually got a klaxon here because some of the people that talk in this organisation could talk to you for probably longer than you could stand it. So there will be a time limit on this. We reckon it'll last about half an hour. So the first thing we want to do is we want to invite Simi to the stage.
Today I'm going to be giving a few words on behalf of the Trust and also just speaking as an employee who's recently joined Horizonscan. So I know we want to get the party started, so I'm going to make a start. In 2020, the pandemic hit and changed the world and life as we know it. We all had to adapt to a new normal as the impacts hit hard and affected us all. The pandemic brought destruction, it's true, but it also brought opportunities too. For Horizonscan, we went through a period of change. At times, things felt uncertain and a little bit strange. But in the end, an employee-owned company we became, and as a team, we worked together to accomplish our aim. To not only exist and work each day to survive, but to grow as a company and continue to thrive. A big thank you to those involved in getting us to where we are now. We know it wasn't easy, but you managed it somehow. By becoming employee-owned, trustee directors had to be appointed and elected, so votes were had and 3 employees were selected. Mick, Lewis and I now have a role, working together to achieve our common goal. To be the employee owner's voice and make sure we all have a say, as well as keeping the directors accountable for their actions so that they do not stray. This role was new, so support has been a must. Thank you to all those involved on behalf of the Trust. Horizonscan has evolved a lot since I joined 3 years ago, and I've had the pleasure of being a part of it and helping it grow. We have seen structural changes to both teams and roles, but we continue to work together to achieve our goals. We are always encouraged to be the best we can be, committing to continual professional development, also known as CPD. Building knowledge, skills, and proficiency is what we must do to enable us to deliver the best services and products for all of you. The values we have, we try to obey, to be ambitious, caring, sustainable, and transparent in every way. At Horizonscan, we are not just employees made to work and deliver. We are seen as people, and our welfare is something we always consider. We understand that a company is only as strong as the people around, so we ensure we stay focused and keep our feet on the ground. We rely on our team to keep the company going, this is true, but we couldn't be the company we are without all of you. On that note, it's time for me to wrap up and say, thank you to all for celebrating with us today. Thank you for listening, it's been a delight. Cheers to us all, have a wonderful night.
Thanks, Simi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, so there we go. Now what we're going to do, and in particular because I put the shirt on, is we're going to invite Pat up here because she's a gooner. So Pat, come on up. Despite what one or two other people think, Pat actually runs Horizonscan, and we'd just like to thank her and the team that actually support you people that go out and do the job. Thank you, Pat.
I'm going to come you on Monday.
Recently, we decided, or leastways the business support team decided that if Hannah takes a day off, we don't know what we're doing, because she actually knows how to run the machinery and we don't. Hannah, if you could. Well done, Hannah.
Thanks.
And there's the new boy, and it's all right because he's a Spurs fan. So John, come on up.
Thank you.
Well done, John. I did say that we will keep this brief, but Will's coming on now, so we'll see how that goes.
Those three gifts that Mick just gave out, and thank you to Stephanie, I was going to say fabulous assistant, but that's probably harsh. Not on the fabulous part, on the assistant part. So, but that was to thank them for all the work they've done to get everybody here, the wonderful decorations, the balloons, the flowers. A lot of effort's gone into this, and it's all been on top of their day job. So thank you very much for the team. I've thought quite long and hard about what to say. There's lots of things I want to say, there's lots of things I should say. But effectively, when I got down to it, it sounded very much like an Oscars acceptance speech with all of the thank yous. So on that vein, despite the fact that my name is Will and that my mother's maiden name is Smith, I would appreciate it if nobody comes up and slaps me tonight. I would just appreciate that. So, this event is really, really special for the company. It's something that we should have done 2 years ago when Russ and Ursula sold the business to the employees, both as a thank you for all the work that they've done and giving us the opportunity, and also a celebration for the employees that we were getting the opportunity to take the business forwards. COVID meant that we couldn't do that, so here we are celebrating 10 years of Horizonscan, which is absolutely wonderful. But I am so proud, along with Shane and others, to be leading this team. We have some absolutely brilliant staff members, 3 who we've just spoken about, but lots of people in the audience. It is so wonderful to work with you. I come into work every single day and I'm excited and I enjoy it. It's a fun atmosphere, it's an exciting atmosphere, and I really, really think that we're going to do some incredible things over the next few years. But before I go any further, I don't think we can really talk about anything other, in my view, than reflecting on the last 10 years. 10 years for a company is a huge memento. It's a huge moment. A lot of companies don't actually even make 1 year, let alone 10. And yet here we are, the business that Russ and Ursula formed on, I think it was your kitchen table, wasn't it, Russ? 10 years later, here we are working globally with all these people in this room, and it's absolutely wonderful. Russ and Ursula, you gave me an opportunity in the business. I joined Horizonscan 7 years ago. I had no background in business. I had no training in business. You gave me an opportunity, and an opportunity that meant I didn't have to travel into London. I could stay close to my family in East Kent. And, you know, I'm really, really grateful to you both for giving me that opportunity. So thank you very much. And I know that's shared by other staff members here who were given similar opportunities back many years ago. And I know the last couple of years was not easy. Anyone who's gone through the sale of a company, it is complicated. It is lots of lawyers involved, lots of financial people, but we got through that, and 2 years in, here we are celebrating together, and that's a wonderful achievement. I don't want to take up too much time, because tonight is really about being on this dance floor and hopefully throwing some moves and drinking far too much and forgetting what actually happened. That's all about me, by the way. But I do have to say there are 3 people that I have to specifically reference, because while we've been a team and we've been really, really solid together, there are 3 people in the time that I've been at Horizonscan who have just been absolute rocks for the company and have made such a difference. The first one is Shane. Shane, I will say, Shane is one of the most brilliant people I've ever worked with, to be honest. The clients that we're working with have huge problems with their risk, their resilience, their insurance, whatever it is. And to sit and watch Shane solve those problems. 2 weeks ago, we were with a FTSE 250 client trying to deal with a massive issue with their insurance. And within about 20 minutes of Shane in the room, it was solved. And a work program was in place to put those things in place. And I am really, really excited, Shane, for the two of us working together over the next few years to take this company forward. So thank you for all the support that you've given. I'm very excited about the future. The second person, she's already probably angry at me for bringing her up to accept some flowers, but how can I not mention Horizonscan without talking about Patricia? Our company secretary, our auntie in the company, the person who has so much time and love and caring for anyone, whether it's work-related or not. Pat, you are just the heartbeat of the company. And I remember when Russ offered me a greater role in the business to take on more responsibility, the first person I spoke to was you and said, I can't do the job if you're not there, and that's still the same today. So thank you again for everything that you do. Yeah, you're still there. And trying to again avoid somebody slapping me and keeping this going on forever, I just want to say the third person has to be Mick. Mick has worked at the company longer than anyone. He is an absolute rock, not just to me, but to other members of staff, and I know to Russ and Ursula before you sold the business. Mick, you have been with us through thick and thin, and now with your impending third retirement? It could be third, it could be fourth. I mean, the reality is I don't think Mick is ever actually going to leave, which is great news for us. But I just want to say on behalf of myself, all of the employees, and I'm sure on behalf of Russ and Ursula, thank you for everything that you've done. You have been a rock, and the company is where it is now because of all the work that you've done. So thank you very much. And probably the final thing I'll say is thank you everyone for not slapping me and letting me go through this speech. So let's. There's one more speech to come, which I think is from Russ. But I hope everybody is going to have an enjoyable evening, and hopefully we'll see you all in 10 years at Horizonscan's 20-year party. So thanks everybody.
Well done, Bill. Well done. Russ is about to talk, but I've got to talk about him. I really have. He's expecting it, but I'm not sure what he's expecting. But I know there'll be some retaliation because he'll have the mic last. I've known Russ for over 30 years. We're friends, and we have to separate business from friendship. And we do a good job of it, I think. Would you agree? But here's a story. We're working for Cummins in the Midwest. We decided we'd go out for a drink because we finished the contract and things are looking good. So we go out for a drink. Russ is terrible if you've got karaoke. He's hopeless. And I've been with him all around the world where he'll start singing and the people leave the bar. And he always blames the last person to be singing, and in fact it's him. Now, so we're in the Midwest, and all of a sudden we get an audience, which is so unusual for Russ when he's singing. It really is. We get an audience. There's a balcony like this, just like this, if you recall, Russ. The bar closes at 1:30. We're still singing at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the bar woman owner calls the police and then we have to leave. But the American Midwest people that are actually with us are complaining to the bar manager because they've never been entertained quite so badly by a bunch of English guys. That's about right story, Russ? Up you come then. We'd like you to speak now, Russ. Well done, mate. All right.
I've made some notes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, and people that came with me on the journey from the start, in the middle, and towards the end. So in the following words, please note, when I say I mean we. When I say me, I mean us. And when I say I made a decision, it was Ursula. Without my wife, Ursula, none of this would have been possible. She's been an extraordinary woman the whole of our married life, 35 years, and without her, I couldn't have done any of this. Okay, elephant in the room. If my time with Horizonscan was a story, it would have a very simple start. That would lead to a nice juicy middle filled with interesting characters and travel to exotic places. And my God, we've been all around the world. When I said to people, come with me and you will see the world, we've been around the world, I don't know how many times, but we've been to some pretty amazing places. And I've enjoyed every second of that. Okay, so the end was not what I thought it was going to be, but some of the best endings are like that. And I can't tell you how delighted I am that Horizonscan is now an employee-owned business. It was probably the best ending. I would like to be sipping a pina colada on a beach now in the Caribbean with my own yacht and stuff. Okay, that's not going to happen. But nevertheless, the second best I can ask for is for you guys to own the business and take it forward. And I can drop the name later on and wax lyrical as me and Mick are sucking our Werther's Originals, watching Countdown. Well, he's going to be there sooner than me, but somebody asked me earlier on, starting a business, what's it like? It's a very small club, people that will start their own business. Starting a business, taking risks, jumping off the precipice of normal life. I was working in a big corporate company, very comfortable, good salary, good prospects, pension, all that good stuff. I had a young family, 3 and 5 year old at the time. It was totally wrong, it was totally madness to do what I did. I don't regret it for a second. My life has been fuller and richer because of it. Somebody said to me at the time, and it's true, that starting a business is fantastic and awful in equal measure at the same time. And I remember somebody saying to me when they started their first business that, in those first 6 months of starting your business, I slept like a baby. I woke up every 3 hours crying. And it's true. And again, another story from somebody I met through our work, a guy called Erwin Sellows, the guy who built the Shard in London. Something else about doing consultancy is you get to meet some incredible people. And he was an East End Barrow boy, made good. And he built the Shard, he went out to Qatar, he ran out of money, bought a business ticket, and no money other than that, and went out to Qatar and then came back with £3 billion in his pocket from loans, talking to people, and built the Shard. So a pretty extraordinary guy. And he said, when you have a big project like that, he said, you have to work out who's involved and who's committed. And he said, it's very much like an English cooked breakfast made out of bacon and eggs. He said, because the hens are involved, but the pigs are definitely committed. And I've been lucky that all the Horizonscan team that we had and I worked with, and I've always said nobody worked for me, they worked with me, and I've tried to say that all the way through. I wanted the company to be the company that I would like to work at, and I hope at least some of the time we got that right. And we always have a fantastically committed team, apart from once, and I have to cite this now, we were out in the US. We were out in the US, and my team, my fantastic team, committed team, had the choice of going to a business continuity conference or going to see Elvis in Graceland. I'll leave it to you to what they decided to do with their time. So there's a Greek proverb that says, as a society grows great, or a society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know that they will never sit in. Now, obviously this doesn't apply to me because I'm not old. But if in 10, 20, 30 years, as Will was saying, Horizonscan is a great bigger company than it is now, then I will truly be chuffed. And I refer to my early comments with Ursula as well. I will look on from a distance and be extremely proud if that is the case. So please continue what you're doing. It's, from what I'm seeing, and Mick tells me about what's going on, it looks as if you're going to go from strength to strength, so that's amazing. So I suppose I could, like was gone before, I could single out lots of individuals for thanks. Looking around the room, and some of the individuals that came on. Lewis, you're probably one of the people I'm most proud of, because Will came to me and said, "Here, Russ, could you take a risk on somebody I know?" I think at the time was working for, I don't want to embarrass you, but it was nothing in the industry that we're working in now. Would you, he's a great guy, would you take him on? And I said, "Well, you vouch for him, Will?" He said, yeah, of course I will, yeah. I said, "Okay, we'll take him on." I unofficially nicknamed him Rocky because he got the one shot of the title, and he's done great. Will, Lewis, you've done really fantastic. I'm very proud of you. There was lots of other incidents and stuff along the way. I mean, I hope some of it was fun. I mean, I try to have fun, because if you don't have fun in this world, if it's just about making money and grinding it out, then Christ, it's boring. So I think we've had a lot of fun. I hope you've had some fun when we've been working together in the various places we were in the world. And I'm delighted that we got to go to some very, very obscure places when we were doing it. Just to be slightly serious for a second, there's a lot of division about at the moment, isn't there? You know that Will and I met. It's not a standard recruitment process, standing for MP and standing itself, I have to say. There's a lot of division about at the moment, and there's a lot of people that want to put walls up and take views and opinions of people. And so I'm really proud that I offered my opponent in the election, Will, a chance to come and work with me. Remember that night after the election, we were sort of out there about 4 o'clock in the morning. Will's going, "I don't know what I'm going to do now." I hope Will return to politics someday, and all that he's done up till now will stand him in good stead. Obviously, as long as he comes back as a Liberal Democrat, which we all get there eventually once we go through the stuff. Apart from Liz Truss, who's obviously going the wrong way. I do, however, despite all that, and I want to say thank you to all the people that work with me. That's not only my colleagues in Horizonscan, but Cummins gave me a great opportunity. It was an inauspicious day when we first started talking to them. It was half an hour they asked me for to come and talk to them, and we built it up to something like a £500,000 contract over the next couple of years. So Cummins were very good to us, and I'm grateful. Mitsui Sumitomo. And if you remember Glanbia, we must have been everywhere in Ireland that had cows and milk, and we knew everything about dairy and cheese in Ireland, and we had some great Guinness nights, I can't tell you. Kilkenny and all the other places, fantastic. What a hoot, it's beats working for a living. But I want to just single out one person, and it's Mick White. We have come an awful long way from Thanet Fire Station. It was a standard line wherever we were. We were in Chongqing in the middle of China, and I'd be looking at Mick over a pint in the bar, and I'd say, this is a long way from Thanet Fire Station. When we were firefighters putting out skips in Ramsgate on a Saturday night, I can't tell you. He's a great guy. I hold him in very, very high regard. But just share a story with you. We've been working in China, and Mick and I were coming back from China, and we got on a British Airways flight, I think it was. It was a 787. It was one of the new Dreamliners, and we were flying back. And as we came over the top of the North Pole and come down the North Sea, the captain comes on. The cabin crew are running around. They look a bit flustered. There's clearly a problem. Captain comes on with his very controlled voice. "Hello there, Captain speaking. Slight problem with the starboard engine. We've had to shut it down. We're now flying on one engine. No problem. These planes have got high reliability and will fly in, absolute no problem. Thank you. Bing bong." So Mick and I are on about our 7th whiskey. We were at the table, and I said, "This is different, Mick. This is unusual, because if that engine goes, that's it. It's curtains. We're all over." And he said, "Yeah, I suppose you're right." And I said, and we were sort of waxing lyrical about what we would do with our sort of last sort of 10, 15 minutes as we hurtle into the North Sea. And I said, "What would you do? What would you say?" And he said the same. "Well, what would you do?" And I said, "I'd lean over and kiss you and tell you I always loved you." So, in closing, Ursula and I wish Horizonscan the very best of luck to the future. And if I can paraphrase Churchill, this is not the end for Ursula and Russ. It's not even the beginning of the end for Horizonscan, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. And I wish you all the very best for the future. Thank you very much.
Russ, can you stay, Russ, because we want to take the piss out of you a bit longer.
And Ursula.
Ursula, you need to come up as well, actually. Yes. We've got a little gift for Russ. And it's really funny. You need to open it and show the people. It's really funny because he's just quoted the first line on his plaque. Yeah, I did, didn't I, a bit? Yeah.
Painted by numbers?
Sorry?
Painted by numbers?
No, but I want you to put it. I want you to put it in a really, really auspicious place. Perhaps in the orangery.
Our new office.
Yeah.
Is it a tax return?
Can you do it a bit quicker because the people are going to sleep, mate?
Oh.
Daniel Craig lookalike. I've got to explain this. If you recall, was it 2014, the election, Russ, being Russ, manages to get the local press to talk to him. I mean, he's a Liberal candidate. I mean, they must have had spare time. And the woman actually printed it in the local paper. He's something else, that Russ Timpson, a Daniel Craig lookalike. Where? Come on. Well done, matey. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You'll be interested to know that that's the end of that, and the food is there, the bar's open. Carry on. Okay.
Good speech.
You good?